Hey, thanks, Laura. So we're going to teach you that etiquette can be fun. I don't know if I believe it, but I'm going to. Shortly, Karen Thomas, she's a certified etiquette expert with CTEtiquette.com. She's here to teach us how to impress our guests at any occasion. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Etiquette is fun.
It is, and you know what? It's all about respect. You know, people get nervous when they hear the word etiquette and think that, oh, there's a proper, you know, you have to do this, have to do that. It's all about respecting the people that you're with and doing things in that manner that makes people feel comfortable.
Because it's all about being honest and making people feel comfortable.
Yes.
If you go to a party, you want everybody to be happy and you don't want to offend anybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. Navigating the table setting, we have a table setting here, and there are 25 different utensils that could be in front of you at any one time.
So how do you differentiate?
It's hard, it's hard. I don't believe that you would encounter 25 at one time unless you're with the Queen and dining with the Queen.
I've seen some of those spreads, and they go out to here with all the implements.
There are 8 forks, there are 7 different knives, and there are 10 different spoons that you could encounter at one time. But we've pared it down a little bit here.
Not today.
But always remember, have you ever been at a wedding where you've been seated at a round table and you get there and you can't figure out which one's glass is whose and you're looking? I'm going to give you a little hint.
Thank you.
Just do this with your hands, okay? This is your B. This is your D. Do you see these?
Yes.
Okay.
B and a D.
So you got B for your bread and D for your drinks. So the next time you go, and you can do that under the table like this.
That's a
so
much better
nobody's
tip.
like this.
What's Seth doing? Why is he making letters?
Do it under the table like this, and you'll know that that is your bread plate. How many times have you been and somebody's taken your glass and you're like, I think that was my water glass?
But you don't want to say anything because then that's rude and it's a whole...
Absolutely. So navigating the place setting, always work from the outside in. So right here on the left-hand side, you're going to have your forks, and what you're going to have is you're going to have your salad fork and then your dinner fork. And then on the outside over here, you're going to have your soup spoon, and then you're going to have your butter knife. Now, it could also be your sharp knife as well, but it's your dinner knife that's here. Above the table, you're going to have utensils, and they're sometimes not brought out right away, but in this case here, these are for dessert. So you can use your spoon for your coffee and the fork for your dessert that comes out, and there's your utensils right there.
Now let's talk napkin etiquette. When you get up from the table, do you put it on your chair? Do you put it on the table? Where does it go? Okay,
first thing about a napkin etiquette is this. The first second you sit down, the napkin comes off.
Before
you don't
the
wait.
food comes.
It's the minute you sit down. So you're going to take that off and you're going to place it, and you don't want to shake it around, but you could keep it folded in half and place it on your lap.
No tucking it into your bib area?
No,
that's not.
No, not proper etiquette. So you're going to keep it on your lap. Now, if you have to use the facilities or get up and take a phone call or whatever, what you want to do is you want to take it and fold it and place it on your chair. And it's acceptable to have it on the back of your chair or on the seat of your chair.
Really? I've never seen it on the back of a chair before.
Either or. I prefer, just to be honest with you, to have it on the back of the chair rather than where you were seated.
You might sit. Oh, you don't want to.
Well, exactly, and you know, so that's what I do with it. But it's acceptable, but it has to stay there. Now, when you're done and you're absolutely done with the last bite, the last sip of coffee, what you want to do is you could just fold it. You don't have to get real fancy, and it goes to the right of the plate. Okay, so when you're done,
on your glass side.
Absolutely, where the glass is. You don't want to push your plate away. That's considered rude. You just leave it there. A lot of people do this. Now you're getting it dirty.
Yeah, and if there was soup or something like that, you're getting the napkin more dirty than it needs to be.
Right there, right on the side. But then now you're going to get up and leave. But the napkin never goes back on the table until you're ready to exit.
I understand. Now let's talk drinkware.
Yes. Now what we have here is you have your white wine glass, okay? And the way you want to hold it is right here by the stem, okay?
So the lower half of the stem?
Yeah, lower half of the stem like this. This is how you want to do it, and this is how you want to drink from it.
I feel more sophisticated already.
I know, there you go. But this one here is your red wine glass, and it usually has a bigger bulb. Now a white wine is served a little bit cooler than a red wine. Now, in a red wine glass, you want to hold it from the bulb, yes.
Like this?
Between your fingers, like this. Well, not only to swirl it, but what you're doing is red wine is served at a warmer temperature, and the warmth of your hand is keeping it at the correct temperature. So you are getting the warmth there, and you're able to sip it, so that's the proper way to hold it there.
And then can I infer this is the water glass?
This is the water glass, and that you can pick up, you know, from the bottom like this, or if you'd like to hold it like that, either or.
But moral of the story, don't go high.
No, always never go high. You always stay low, and you want to stay in the area down here where the stems are.
Well, thank you so much for these tips, but don't go anywhere because we will be back later on the show with the do's and the don'ts of table etiquette.
We're back with Karen Thomas, who is a certified etiquette expert with CTEtiquette.com, and she's here to teach us how to impress our guests at any occasion. All right, so we left off with Seth on the utensils.
Yes, now the proper way, a lot of people don't know what the proper way to hold a utensil is. What you want to do is you want to hold your fork or your knife or your spoon with your pointer finger on the back of it. So like this, absolutely. Okay, so in this case here, I'm going to switch over. When you're holding them, this is the way it should be, like this.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm going to pretend I'm cutting some meat like this, eating like this. Okay, now once the utensils come off of the table, they never go back on. So I'm done with my knife, it goes on the back of the plate. Okay, the same thing with the spoon. On this here, you try to position your finger like this. Okay, so you're either scooping, you know, eating, whatever you're doing with the spoon, stirring, whatever, but this is the proper way to hold your utensils.
Okay, so I know lots of people, they cut and they put their knife down and they pick it back up, and so you're saying not to do that?
No, well, what I'm saying is that you want, when you're doing something where you're cutting, it's one piece at a time. So you're gonna cut one piece, eat, chew, stop, cut, 1, 2, and keep going through there. But this will never go back on the table. So if you've used this, it should never go back on this table. It always should rest here. Now, if you're taking a break with your fork, you want to make sure that your fork is resting on the plate as well. It never should go back here. Just as the napkin never goes back on the table until you're ready to leave.
Right, because they're all dirty and...
Absolutely, sauce and things like that.
Okay, and do you hold the soup spoon and the salad fork the same way?
Absolutely the same way. It should always have your finger resting on the back of the utensil.
And moving on from utensils, the do's and don'ts.
The do's and don'ts. Okay, you always want to wait for your host or hostess, whether you're out in a restaurant or you're at grandma's dinner table for Easter. What you want to do is you always want to wait for the host or host to say it's okay to eat. So if everybody's served and you're, you know, say your grandmother's still waiting, you always wait. Okay? Now you're in a restaurant, you're out with colleagues perhaps. What you want to do is everybody's served. Now your steak is still back there and they say, geez, I'm sorry. The person who is being the delay should say, you know what, go ahead and eat. Then it's all right for everyone to start. But if not, and nobody says anything, you need to wait.
All right, yeah, we were talking about that earlier because I don't know where I heard it from, but I heard that if it's over 6 people, you don't want to wait because your food gets cold. And you are telling me, no way.
That is improper etiquette. You have to wait till everyone is served. Everyone is served. So a few other things too. Always remember you're going to work your way from the outside in. Okay, you always want to grab the napkin first. Okay, small talk. If you're out in a business setting, okay, and you're eating, say, with colleagues or with your boss or a prospective client, what you want to remember is this: you want to pace yourself to the other person. So in other words, you don't want to hurry up and eat and the other person has got a full plate left.
And you're awkwardly sitting there while they're still eating.
Yes, exactly. That's considered rude. Also, you don't want to salt or pepper or season your food without tasting it first.
Oh, because that could be offensive to the chef or whoever prepared it.
Absolutely. Now, and I'm not saying that the chef is looking in the window. You have a chef here, so you can ask him. He's not looking out the window and making sure to see if somebody's doing it, but that is considered rude. So you want to taste your food first and then season it later.
Okay. And then you were also saying a don't, which might seem a little obvious, but some people might not think of it. Don't dunk.
Do not dunk and slurp or any of that. It's considered offensive. It is. And you know what? I'm Italian. I like to get that last little bit of sauce. Okay, it's not acceptable unless I'm at home. But when you are out in public, you should not be dunking, dipping, or getting that last little bit.
All right, and what if you're out in public and you see someone's food and you really want to try some? I'm guessing
love this.
That is a don't as well.
That is a no-no. That is a no-no. I mean, stop and think about it. Do you really want someone else's fork that's perhaps been used in your cheesecake? You know, it's one of those things where, you know, germs and all of that. It's not acceptable.
Well, if it's chocolate cake, I don't want them near it anyways. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to share. That's just the way it is.
Absolutely. But, you know, make small talk, pace yourself. Just be aware of your surroundings, you know, who you're with, what's going on around you, and you know what, you'll do fine. It's about, again, etiquette is about respecting the people in the company you're with. Okay. Not so much the rules.
All right. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today and teaching us all these new etiquette tips. There are lots of things that I didn't know.
Awesome.
So thank you for sharing them with us.
Thank you so much.